Hello, I'm Rahman from Nebius. I'm a product manager for Nebius AI Studio, a platform for GenAI application makers and developers. Imagine a conversation with an AI, just like creating a task for a team member, consulting with a colleague, or asking a tutor for guidance. That's what prompting is all about. Crafting clear, meaningful questions or tasks to get the best results from large language models and other generative AI models. However, the quality of our prompts remain one of the biggest challenges, limiting how much we can unlock the powerful opportunities these models offer. When working with large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Llama or Mistral or DeepSeek, the quality of your input directly shapes the output you'll receive, so it is essential to know how to formulate clear and specific prompts. As Albert Einstein once said, the important thing is not to stop questioning. For us, it's all about not stopping prompting, isn't it? In this lesson, we'll discuss the basics of prompt engineering and explore what makes prompts effective. Let's start with the basics. What is a prompt? In the world of generative AI, a prompt is a set of instructions or inputs written in natural language. These instructions guide the AI model in performing a specific task. Essentially, a prompt is anything you enter into a chat with large language model. But to create a well-crafted prompt, you'll need to differentiate between three key components. First, there is context, which provides background information or sets the scene. For example, when using a chatbot, context might include your previous messages or the conversation's topic. Next, we have instructions. This is the core task you want the AI to perform. It can be a question, a command, or an open-ended request. Finally, constraints. These are additional rules or guidelines that shape the AI's response. For example, you might ask the AI to limit its output length or use JSON as the output format. Now, let's see different prompts in action. For this course, we will be using Nebius AI Studio, a GenAI platform for application builders and developers. Let's go to the playground of one of the available models. For example, we can pick Llama 3.370B. Let's go to playground. Here we see the generation parameters window where we can tweak how the model behaves. Also, we have system prompt window where we can set up model behavior in a natural language. We can explain to stick to some formal tone, for example, behave like some kind of a character, etc. But for now, let's focus on just user prompt. Let's ask the model to tell us a programming joke. Why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs. Well, not that bad, at least it is better than my jokes. Let's try another one. List 3 key elements that make action movies popular. High-octane action sequences, relatable heroes and villains, spectacular visual effects and set pieces. Perfect, that sounds compelling. Great. As you can see, the model answers us with the detailed list of actions and virtues that make action movies popular. You can tweak the response, but be aware that it's always inherently random, and that's the nature of how generation model work. You can try to regenerate the response, and it will be slightly different, even though I've set my temperature, which controls the randomness of the answers, to 0, right? In these examples, simple instructions worked fine, but often you will need to add context or constraints to get more precise outputs. For example, if you want to receive the output in a specific format, you'd need to specify that in the prompt. This leads us to prompt engineering, the practice of designing effective prompts to obtain accurate, relevant, and useful AI outputs. Prompt engineering helps you influence the output's quality, style, and the content to suit your needs. Let's look at some examples to see how you can influence output quality with prompt engineering. If you simply say, explain photosynthesis, the AI will likely give you a short, generic explanation. But if you refine it to include specific factors you're interested in, the AI will generate a detailed response with exactly these elements and produce a more informative output. Now consider this prompt. Write a story about a robot. It is a fine start, but pretty open-ended. The AI might come up with something super generic. Instead, if you add specificity about the desired tone, audience, and content, the AI can craft a fun and engaging story tailored to your needs, like a story for kids, for example. Finally, let's look at this prompt. What are the benefits of exercise? While the AI will likely to list some benefits, the output might not be as focused or structured as you'd like. But if you say, summarize the top 3 benefits for regular exercise in a persuasive paragraph aimed to encouraging teenagers to stay active, you are providing clear guidance on both the format and purpose of the response. So what makes a prompt effective? It's all about being very specific in your instructions. If you say, I want to learn Greek, the response might be vague, something like basic advice or general recommendations. But if you mention that you're an English speaker eager to learn modern Greek and ask the AI to include textbooks, online resources, and daily practice routines, now that's specific. This prompt includes context and outlines exactly what you expect from the output. Finally, let's look at the coding-related prompt. If you ask, make my code run faster, the model has no idea what your code does or where the problem might be. But if you explain what your code does, where you see the problem, and provide a code snippet, you'll receive much more useful and actionable suggestions. So, we have covered the fundamentals of prompts and prompt engineering. You have learned the difference between the basic and engineered prompts and the impact of specific instructions. In the following lesson, we'll deep dive into more advanced prompting techniques to further enhance AI output.